Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the first installment of our Modern Work webinar series for the second half of 2022. My name is Lori Martinez, and I'm a Modern Work Solutions Specialist here to help moderate and assist with answering any of your questions. For the first half of 2022, we presented webinars that discuss some of the security and compliance features in the Modern Work stack. The second half, we are expanding the scope to also include collaboration, employee experience, voice, migration tips, and more. If you'd like to catch up on our past webinars, we are placing our YouTube channel in the chat, and we will continue to upload the recordings moving forward for your convenience. As Microsoft employees, we hear and experience a lot of the ever-evolving office and work landscape. After these past 2 years, the world has pressured organizations to speed up the digital transformation as remote and hybrid work become the new normal. We at Microsoft want to make sure you are empowered and aware of the features that are included in our solutions, and we want you to know that we're here to help. Today, we will be discussing Teams, but in a different sense. If you're familiar with Teams, you may know that it is an amazing tool for collaboration over chat, channels, and voice. But today we want to show you a side of Teams that can expand the value of the overall experience by extending out the platform to include the use of apps, process automation with virtual agents, and more. Our speakers today are Senior Customer Success Managers, Melinda Rubinstein and Venu Tirumalai, and Director of Customer Success, Bhargav Shukla. Helping out with moderation, we have technical specialists, Shay Awajobi and Ryan Ding, and then of course, myself. Please feel free to post questions in the chat, and we will do our best to answer in the chat. We will also have some time at the end of the presentation for Q&A. If you find this webinar helpful and you want more information, we do recommend reaching out to your dedicated Modern Work specialist or preferred partner. And with that, I'm handing it off to Venu. Venu?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Venu Tirumalai. I'm a customer success manager here at Microsoft, serving financial services customers. I'm truly passionate about solving business problems with the help of Teams, especially using Teams as a platform. Our goal is to make sure every customer gets value from their already existing investment in Microsoft 365 and in Teams. We want Teams to be a single platform for all your collaboration and communication needs. We value your time, and we really appreciate you taking time and joining this webinar. We have a knowledge-filled session, and we hope you gain a lot out of it. This webinar, of course, is for everyone, but it will be a great value for citizen developers and business users who can use low-code, no-code features to develop custom apps to solve business problems. Let's get started. Again, Lori already went through the introduction. Melinda, myself, and Bhargav will be presenting. So as far as Teams are concerned, I mean, we know about hybrid work. Hybrid work, it's not coming. It's here to stay, and it's already here, as a matter of fact. As you could see, 87% of the people they prefer to work a combination of remote and at work. Not that they want to work from home all the time. 81% of our leaders are changing their workplace policies for greater flexibility. So they want both their employees to come to work as well as have that flexibility to work from home. And as you could see in LinkedIn, there are more jobs, 8.5 times increase in the share of remote jobs. So this is really amazing and unprecedented. This brings in a lot of challenges. What collaboration tools are you providing to your employees? Do they have what they need to get their work done? As you could see, there's 252% in Teams meetings. 43% of remote workers say They do not feel included in meetings. And within a span of 1 year, there is an increase of 40 billion emails. So this is really a lot. So this is where the Teams and the Teams app comes into picture. Most businesses are still in transition phase, finding what works and what doesn't work, and where the needs and the gaps are. This has led to a search for the right tools for enabling productivity, communications, and other work process in the hybrid environment. Collaboration and communication are key for an organization. Concise communication, integration with necessary services, and on-the-go accessibility is why organizations are increasingly choosing to rely on Teams apps. So Teams apps offer a collection of apps that are provided by Microsoft as well as external vendors and partners. Teams apps can be tabs, boards, and message extensions. Teams app expand the value of your Teams collaborative experience. Organizations use it to connect with their customers, provide services, and share information. But that's not all. Apps are a meeting place for people to work together. A well-placed app helps build a cohesive environment for external and internal business needs. So what are the different types of apps that are available? As you could see, you could build custom apps in Teams. I have a developer background, and I also have a lot of interest and experience in Azure machine learning and AI. So I am really truly passionate about developing apps for lines of businesses. And the beauty of these custom apps is you be a hardcore developer, or you could be a citizen developer or a business user. You could use low code and no code to develop your apps very quickly. So it's truly amazing the kind of features that Teams provides for you to develop your apps. And of course, there are apps that are built by Microsoft that are already available within your organization. And these are, you could, depending on the way your administrator provides access to these, you can add these to your environment, to your chats, channels, etc. And then there are apps built by third companies called third-party apps. Um, these companies are partners and Microsoft vendors. They have a lot of experience building apps. There are some really cool apps that you could utilize from third party. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to quickly show you how Teams apps looks and how you can get access to it. This is going to only take a minute. So this is my team. I'm in the team, and right now I'm in this communication team and the general channel. So the first way to quickly get access to Teams apps is by clicking on this plus sign wherever you are. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time. As you could see, these are all the apps that are available. That's one way of going to the app, and this OneNote and Stream and Whiteboard are Microsoft provided apps. And you can also click on the 3 dots on the left side of your Teams, and you can go to apps that way, or you can click on apps here and go to apps that way. So those are, I just wanted to quickly show you how to navigate to apps within your Teams environment. Now I'm going to pass it on to Melinda to continue.
Thanks so much, Venu. So as you saw in that quick demo and overview, there's a lot of different ways to look at apps, get them into your environment. I want to take a little bit of time to chat about why it's so important and how it can really help your organization as you think through efficiency and flow of work. So collaborative apps and teams offers that singular, streamlined ecosystem rather than using a patchwork of various apps and services that don't speak to one another. So I think we all can relate to, we have our desktop open, we're getting started in the morning, and I know that this happens to me. I lose myself in the many different windows and applications that I have open, and I start to quickly try and scroll through and find what I was working on. And that's really the beauty of using applications within Teams. You're working, maybe you're chatting with a colleague, and you have the opportunity to seamlessly transition to complete a task within an app. So it makes it easy to get started right away. We have a whole host of apps that are available within our store, and I'll get to a few in a second. You might even recognize some. But really what this does on the administrative side is reduces insight gaps, overlap, right? Instead of pockets of different parts of the org buying their own solution, it's an easy way to distribute it across the enterprise, and also address any security issues that you might have. Oh, actually, Venu, could you go back? Not quite done.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. What we find is that a lot of businesses really want to ease their way into this. And so once you've gotten comfortable using collaborative apps that are already embedded in Teams, then kind of this next level is you start bringing in partner apps that you use to get work done. And I'll show one to you in a moment when we do a demonstration of Workday. But finally, Teams allows you to build custom apps and connect with those custom apps that you've maybe already built. Now we'll go to this next slide, and I'll dive in a little bit deeper into what the components of these applications are. So this is a little peek under the hood, so to speak, and whether it's a first-party app, a third-party app, or a custom app, these are the components that make up that application infrastructure within Teams. So it is, first of all, we're going to work our way down the left side here, and I'm going to chat just a little bit about tabs. So tabs allows you to surface rich content within Teams. You can bring in the tools and the services that your team cares about right into a channel or a private chat. You can add rich dashboards or data visualization, and you can collaborate and document note-taking, managing tasks across a group, sharing designs, right? And so that's something that Venu showed you when you hit that plus sign in the tab. That's where you can add items there. Bots, those help users get tasks done in conversations in Teams. So bots can do things like kick off workflows, provide status, give and receive kudos from team members. They can create lightweight surveys, which I've seen and is a great way to gauge employee satisfaction or a quick pulse check. And also it can answer natural language questions about sales and customer usage data. So I know we have a demo by one of my colleagues around bots a little bit later. So you'll get to see that in action. Connectors and webhooks. Those help bring useful information and rich content from external services into channels in Microsoft Teams. So you can, for example, get social media notifications, updates about pull or push requests, news updates, right? So those connectors and webhooks are available through the APIs and make it easy to connect to a lot of different types of tools that you have. I'll go ahead and just touch very briefly on actionable messages. So there's connector cards and you can add content to those or composing extensions. So using and sharing rich cards within conversations. these different pieces can be built together in a lot of different ways. And so you'll start to recognize these different pieces in these next demonstrations. All right, next slide. Awesome. With Teams, we've built a platform where users can bring apps directly into the workspace. So meeting people where they already are. And what it does is it reduces fragmentation and allows your teams to remain effective. We have over 800 third-party apps available on our Teams app store. So what I love about this slide is that when I'm talking with audiences, most folks are going to recognize one of these apps that they use every day, if not 4 or 5. I know for me right away, I see Mural, I see GitHub, I see Adobe Sign. So however these kind of pop out at you, you can keep in the back of your mind. We've got apps spanning across every industry, every business function. You can bring the apps and tools that you need into Teams to help you stay in the flow of work. And while all teams need a place to communicate and collaborate, to move work forward, every single team is doing it differently. And so that's why you can customize Teams with those apps that you bring into chats or channels or meetings. So for example, a DevOps team uses an app maybe like Jira Cloud, and then they use GitHub and they're building, they're testing, they're releasing software directly into Teams. Whereas HR and finance teams, maybe they're using market leading apps. Workday, Adobe Sign, they're streamlining common workflows in Teams that they use every day. And then customer service and support teams, perhaps they're using ServiceNow to respond to and manage support requests in Teams. So this is just a smattering of the third-party offerings, but we also have all the building blocks for you to customize on your own. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Bhargav to talk to you a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Melinda. And thank you, Venu, for the slide. So as you bring all of the platform together, when you're looking at what you have available in your organization, there's a lot of data laying around. There are a lot of information that you deal with. How do you bring that back together in a way that allows you to just extract most value? Really is what the platform's about. So it allows you to deploy your solutions. Well, let's start with creating the solutions first. So it allows you to create your solutions based on the data that you have available. When we go to the demos, I'll show you some of that. But you can create an app very, very quickly based off of your data, whether it's in SharePoint, whether it's in Excel spreadsheets, or whether it's in a database. You can connect to any of those data sources, create an app that allows you to get things done very quickly and improving the end user experience as well as extracting the business value. So it's really about looking at your existing data, improving the workflows, improving the I think the opportunity overall of what you get out of your data is where we are headed with that. Venu, next slide, please. So when you look at the platform, there are different components that Microsoft Teams uses and works with. There is Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, and Power BI. In my demo, I'll show you 3 of those. I know Venu has another one lined up for Power Virtual Agents, but let me give you a quick brief of what each one of them stands for. The Power Apps is really designed to give you the citizen development environment. As in, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a developer. I don't have similar background as Venu's, where I come from the development side of the house. I always worked in my career on the IT backend side, not coding. But when I show you some of the stuff that I have done with Power Apps, let me, without exaggerating, tell you that the Power Apps allows you to really just build the stuff that modernizes your workflows without being a developer. Power Automate allows you to automate the processes that you might be working with day in and day out, but it's manual. You can take your flows, you can take the process and then automate most of those pieces, again, depending on the process. And then the last piece, I'm going to skip over virtual agent for a moment, is when you have the data and when you're doing something with the data, with app, with Power Automate, you're processing data, you're storing the data somewhere. But most of the data, if you don't do something with it, is just stored data. What Power BI allows you to do is run all sorts of business analytics on your data. So if you take your data and put it in the form that is both presentable as well as can be analyzed, it gives you insights like what trends in the social media relate to your feedback if you're a hotel. What are the trends that you can pick from the past performance of your customer interactions in CRM and how the outcomes correlate to that? So Power BI allows you to connect to a lot of different data sets. Again, similar to Power Apps and Power Automate, whether it's in Excel, whether it's in database, whether it's in SharePoint, Power BI can connect to a lot of those data sources. And then all the way at the bottom of the slide, you see the Dataverse. If you want to create additional storage instead of bringing unstructured data in from SharePoint or something like Excel spreadsheets, where you have a lot of different data points in different files, and you want to normalize that data and make it a central repository, you can use Microsoft Dataverse, which allows you to store that data and build multiple apps off of it if you need to. And then I'll come back to virtual agents. So virtual agents really allows you to build automation in form of a bot within the team. So if you have the process where you have the FAQs or an HR example where people ask about certain things often, you can create a bot that responds with the knowledge that is already built up inside your environment, and using that knowledge, you're reducing the work that actually gets passed on to the real humans. So that allows you to do the more complex work while the bots answer the often asked questions and the knowledge that's already there. It is a little more than that. It is not just a dumb, Q&A bot. There is a lot more you can do with virtual agents, and I'll leave for Venu to demo that when we get to the demos. Next slide, please. I think we are coming up on demos, right, Venu?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pass it off to Melinda. Melinda, if you want to start with your demo first.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Bhargav. So as I go ahead and share my screen, I'll give you a little bit of background. I'm going to share with you a Workday demonstration, and this is one of our third-party apps. If you use Workday in your day-to-day, you might be in HR, you might actually be just an employee at a company who uses Workday, and you might be required to log time off using Workday. So I'm going to run through a few scenarios, and you'll start to recognize some of the components of Teams apps. But let's go ahead and dive in. All right, here's a scenario for you. You want to find a coworker who works with you. You may have a name, you may have, need to search. Let's go ahead and see how the Workday application handles this. First, I'm going to head to the Workday app within Teams, and it's pinned to the left rail here. I'm going to go ahead and click and type hi to get started. Right, so quick hi. I'm going to click look up a coworker from this Workday card in Teams. And what I'm going to do is I can look up by first, last name, any combination in order to find that module. All right, so I get a little pop-up and I'm going to search for my coworker's name, Joy Banks, and now I'm going to search. So I can see this reporting structure, and I can click into any of these names to see their Workday profile. I'm going to go ahead and it'll open up directly from the Workday app. And I would be able to look at a number of folks in there. So it's a nice way if you are trying to find someone, maybe you're in a chat and you're like, oh, we should really bring so-and-so into the fold and loop them in on this project. You can find their contact information right away and maybe a few other bits of information, including what organization they're in. So it depends on the back end and how it's set up as to what information within Workday gets surfaced, but that's the interaction with Teams and Workday. Let's look at another scenario where we want to provide feedback. Okay, so again, we're in the Workday app, and I would like to now, instead on this little menu of look up a coworker, I'm going to come over to give anytime feedback. I'm going to go ahead and enter her name, Joy Banks again, right here, and search for her. And this is the feedback card. So I can add the feedback that I'd like to. We had such a great lunch. She taught me all about the 401k options that I was trying to consider. I can choose a badge to give her. So there's a drop down here, and I'd like to give her a shout out. And then I can make that feedback public or private. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and share it with others. I want everyone to know that she is the 401k expert, and you should go ask her questions if you have them, and I'll go ahead and send it. So both the employees and the managers can be notified, and they'll both see that feedback. I can also open up the Workday browser and see feedback through the hyperlink. All right, I mentioned tracking your time off requests. So let's look at that scenario a little bit more deeply. So again, Workday app, and we're gonna come right here to the discussion bar at the bottom. And I'm going to type in, this is natural language, just check time off. How much time off do I have? Can I go to Barbados or not? And what it will do is Workday will automatically exclude public holidays and then any existing time off that's already been approved. So I just see the actuals that I have left. So really nice, right there within this window, I have it. I don't have to go open a browser, try and remember what the link is, and sort through and do the mental math myself. Now, since I have a few hours, I'm going to go ahead and request time off. Again, natural language in this window, and I'm going to send that off. And the Workday app, so it's a little bot. You can start to see that we're having this two-way discussion here. The Workday bot is asking me, what are the dates for your request? So I'm going to go ahead and type them in. I'd like to go December 7th and 9th, just after hurricane season. Well, everything is cold. I sit in the Northeast, so Barbados at that time sounds fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to use vacation hours specifically for that. All right, I've submitted it, and I can, once it's submitted, I can either cancel, edit, add details, etc. So off we go. And once it's submitted, the manager also gets a notification for that. So everyone will know that I'm out of office, not to be disturbed on my wonderful trip to Barbados. You'll get those notifications both in Teams, along with any processes that you'd like to connect to, including approvals. So handy. Alternately, Alternatively, I could select a deep link within that Workday card that would go ahead and open that up within the browser. So as you can see, there's always a link back to the application itself in the web browser if you're more comfortable that way, or if you'd like to just stay in Teams, you can do that too. Creating expenses. I know this one's a headache for me. I have it on my to-do list right now. I'm avoiding doing my expense report. But there's a way that you can do it right here within Teams. So if you're using Workday for this, and actually what I should mention here is even if you're not using Workday, there are still components of this demonstration that you can create either on your own or create automations based on the applications that you do use. So it might spark you an idea as you're paying attention to this. So I'm going to go ahead. I've said hello to wake up the bot and tell it it's time to create expenses. And I'm going to choose from the menu, enter expenses, and it's going to automatically generate that report item. And I'm going to add a receipt image. Okay, so enter, just right here, attach. I can upload it from my computer. It might be my phone. Honestly, we all take pictures on our phone now, right? That's most likely where it's going to be stored. So I can do this from mobile. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this lunch expense. So well, I wish I was at a conference. I was just chatting with some of my colleagues before this, and we have not gotten into the conference circuit yet again, but I've heard that they have started. So I've put this conference lunch receipt right here, and Workday's got it. They're going to go ahead and fill out a quick expense. If I have more, I can add more at this time. Otherwise, it'll go ahead and automatically create that expense based on that picture, which is pretty cool. I wasn't doing data entry at all. It's giving me the review. I have a chance to look and see what it saw. It saw a conference lunch. The amount, $4.13. Wow, they got off really light for lunch. I feel like you can't get out of anywhere for less than $16 nowadays, but $4.13, a light luncher. So I'm going to go ahead and review these. It looks good to me. I could edit this if I need to. In this drop down, I can choose whether I want it to which date, an expense item. So if there's certain workflows that your finance department mandates, you can also capture that here. I'm going to go ahead and submit it. I can also access the deep link to Workday within Teams. Okay. With the mobile app, I mentioned you can get things on the go. Let's dive into, we're going to switch gears here a little bit because this is even more on the HR side. What we might more traditionally think of HR is in the interview loop and onboarding new individuals. So let's say that we have interviewed someone for a new role on our team and we want to leave some interview feedback. Let's see how we can do that from within Teams, because we've probably honestly conducted that interview within a Teams meeting. So here we go. I'm going to type hello. We're going to wake up the bot, and I'm going to click on more over here to drop down request interview feedback. Okay, so this is where recruiters and hiring managers can go to exchange that information. All right, I'm going to see a list of candidates in the interview phase, and then any of them that actually have outstanding panel feedback. Okay, I can ping interviewers within Teams, so I can just open up a quick chat. Hey, friends, you owe me some interview feedback, which is a nice way to keep it all together. Ask Workday. This is a quick demonstration of another bot service. And so there's self-service opportunities. If there's something that you are getting asked a million times a day, a great way to take advantage of that. So I know we're going to dive deeper into some custom content, but this is how it might work with a third-party app. We've got the interactive card that I'm going to surface, and I'm going to summon the Ask Workday assistant. All right, so things like approving timesheets or viewing my tax forms, right? How often do I have to ask where my pay stub is located, right? All of those HR functions that you get asked a lot, you can put that into your question arsenal and then have it ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and type in, I need my W-4. I'd like to view it. And Workday app understands it and surfaces that deep link right there. So without me having to fumble through pages and pages of the web, I am able to immediately get a link here. You can get the Workday app in the Teams store. If you don't see it, that might be because your IT admins don't have it turned on. So that is always a conversation to have around your app governance and who owns turning them on, turning them off, which parts of the department can request these apps to be turned on or off. So definitely some things to consider as you think about enterprise readiness, but it is available in the App Store. So you can find it exactly like Venu mentioned, and this is one of our partners. So they have gone through our security briefings and certifications, and you can find out more about what all that entails in our documentation. But it's a pretty easy setup to install on the end user side. They just sign in using their single sign-in credentials. All right, so that's a little bit of an overview of how a third-party app can look and some of the things that you can accomplish using a third-party app, using a tool that you might already be familiar with. And I believe with that, I'm handing it over to Venu next to talk more about chatbots. So he's going to give you a much deeper dive. I gave you like a little skim of the surface.
No, that was really good. That was excellent, Melinda. Thank you. So let me quickly share my screen.
And as your screen pulls up, we were also having a discussion in the green room about whether or not we're scared of AI and bots. So this is definitely not scary AI in the way of Westworld. We're going to teach you a very accessible way to interact with bots and even build bots to help make your life a little bit easier.
So thanks again, Melinda. I'm going to talk about, the Power Virtual Agents, which is an app that's available within the Microsoft Teams. The Power Virtual Agents lets you create powerful AI-powered chatbots for a range of requests for providing simple answers to common questions, just like, how Melinda showed with Workday. And this, does not require any kind of coding. It's so low code, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it can be deployed across your organization and let other people work with with your bots. So building chatbots with Power Virtual Agents is, you may be, there is so many features that it has. It's, it democratizes AI. That basically what it means is you don't need to know the power of AI. It uses AI in the background, and it provides you with the features that you can utilize. Like Melinda was showing you about the natural language processing. Whatever you type, it's able to interpret and understand and provide you with a quick answer. And then it's faster and better. You can deploy it fairly quickly, and no infrastructure is required. It's available anywhere, wherever your teams are, or it could also be deployed beyond teams. And it uses natural language processing, so it looks as though you're chatting with a person. And it uses in the backend, it uses a powerful bot framework. So traditionally what happens was, your business users, they have an idea. They say, okay, I need to develop something. So what they do is they approach developers and the developers develop something for them. And then here you go. There's a lot of back and forth. But with having the citizen developers, having the business user champions who are interested in solving their own business problems, they don't want to go back and forth with the IT. There's a process involved. So that's what the Teams apps and the Power Virtual Agents gives you. It empowers you to develop these features so quickly that you could deploy it and use it within a span of like a couple of days max. So if you have a requirement, the developers will provide you with the tools that you could utilize and develop your own solutions. That is the advantage of using bots. So, we have with Power Virtual Agents, you can engage naturally, you can use AI, continuously enhance and take action. Today, what we'll do is we'll quickly see how we can develop an app within the Teams environment, a bot, and how quickly we can deploy it. So here I'm in my Teams. And this is a regular team. I'm sure most of you here are familiar with this. Now I'm going to go here and click on the dots and select Power Virtual Agents. If it's not there, you can add it. You can add it, and it also depends on the kind of access that your admin gives you. But then in most of the cases it's available, or you can request for it. It's taking a little bit of time to load. Oops, I think I have some connection problems with the internet. Just give me one. There you go. So when you click on this Power Virtual Agents, you get this window. And as you can see here, it says create a chatbot, 5 minutes, no code. It's as simple as that. You click on Start Now, and you can enter the name of the bot, and you can enter the the details. Seems like I have a connection problem with the internet, or maybe I have too many windows open. I tried to close as many as possible. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this for now. I mean, here in this window, what happens is, you basically, it allows you to provide a name, and then it allows you to give the description. That's all. And then you hit on the create button. So once you do that, right, these are a couple of chatbots that I created. So, I have this support bot and time off bot. The time off bot is similar to what, Melinda demonstrated with the vacation and things like that. But ours was using Workday. In this case, we are doing it ourselves. This is totally, our creation. So when you initially create a bot, what happens is it comes in with built-in templates. So this is how it looks. You can, we are calling this the time of bot. You can go to topics, you can test the bot, and then the third thing is you can publish the bot. Once you publish the bot, you can make it available for specific teams, or you can make it available for the entire organization. I'm going to go to topics. So what happens is when you start a bot, the first thing is, you need a trigger phrase. Like you need to say hello, good afternoon, and all that. So these are all the topics that are available. Some of them are like these always on are the ones that are provided for you. And these are some samples. And this time off was the one that I created. And you could use any of these samples, or you can remove them, you can turn them off. Let me go into the greeting. So all the greeting topic does is, it uses these trigger phases. Good afternoon, good morning, hello, there are so many of them. It uses all these trigger phrases and says, I'm a virtual agent. I can help you with time off, account questions, orders, store information, and things like that. And then if you'd like to speak with a human, it'll take you to a human experience. But what we are going to be doing is we are going to be testing the bot. So see, right now I'm in the development environment. This is all within Teams. I'm in Power Virtual Agents, and I have this topic where it's just a greeting. So I'm going to say, good afternoon. So here, as you could see, it says, hi, I'm a virtual agent, and you can see where it is going. I'd like to speak to a human. If you'd like to speak here, let me know at any time. So what can I help you with today? So that's as simple as that in creating a greeting topic. But let's go back to topics. So what I did was I created this time of topic, which is a little advanced. In time of topic, what happens is, we have like a variable, and then it has branching and things like that. It's taking a little bit of time to load it. Let's go back. Okay. So this is the vacation. So you want to know about time off, vacation days, need information. So these are all the trigger phases. I can click on it and add any trigger phase that I want. I could just say holidays, vacation, anything, and you can add a lot of trigger phases. And the beauty of it is, even if the trigger phases are not available because of natural language processing, if you just type vacation, or if you type, time off, it will still understand. You don't have to, the strings need not match perfectly. And then what happens in this case is I can help you with the questions related to time off, and it has multiple choice options. What would you like to know about? Do you want to know about paid vacation, national holidays, sick leave, or extended leave? And that result, whatever the user responds, gets saved in a variable. And then you could, once it is national holidays, you can provide information about national holidays, and for paid vacation, either you can get in data from Workday and display it here, or you could ask them to go to Workday. Similarly, for sick leave and extended leave. Once you provide that information, you can end the conversation and ask them for a survey. So it's as simple as that. I mean, this can be made very complex. You could add multiple, conditions like this, multiple, choices, and then each one of them can branch into other. You can also create a flow. And so you have these topics, and you also have the built-in entities. So these are all the available, like, age, color, and, money, language. So many of these built-in entities are available. You can also add multiple entities, your own entities, and you can publish it into multiple different channels, and it also provide analytics. That means, how many customers were satisfied with this bot? Did it answer all their questions? Did they leave it in between? And did they go to a live agent? So it provides all that analytics for you. I mean, this is truly amazing, because within a span of like 15-20 minutes, you're able to create a bot, you're able to deploy it, and then you also have these features of analytics, see how your bot is working, and it's like you can constantly keep changing your bot to make it work better. So, as I said, these are the topics. You can add as many topics as you want, and the topics can be intermingled. That means, this one, like the sample topics talks about store opening, store closing, and some of the, like, one of them the one that I have talks about vacation, but you could keep adding to this, and depending on the question, it will kick off that particular topic and provide the solution. So once you have this, once you create your topics, the next step is to publish. So if I go back home, and you created the topics, you tested the bot in the test environment, like how I showed you. You click on publish the bot. And then you can publish it. You can open to Teams, make this bot available to other users. So let me click on publish. You want to publish this content? Yes. So, I'll show you the available options. So here, this bot has been added, available to your team. Show to my teammates and shared users, it is available, but show to everyone in my org, it says it's waiting for approval. That means it has to be approved by an administrator for you to be able to, for everyone in the org to be able to access the bot. And here I am. I'm going to the, this is the administrator window. And, I'm in the Teams app policies and managing apps. So here you see the name of my bot was time off. See the time off bot is here, and it is blocked because it's still pending approval from the administrator. So you can provide the app and allow it to be used by multiple different users in different lines of businesses. So here what I did was I published the bot, and you see the bot on the left-hand side, call it the time of bot. I'm going to just say hello. I know it's a little slow. It says, what can I help you with today? I'm looking for time off. So then it comes back and gives you the 4 options. So this was the one that we coded where we said, whenever. So I never had this in the in one of the trigger phrases, but it was able to recognize it. I'm going to say national holidays. So it goes. So you don't have to. The advantage here is you don't have to go anywhere. Everything is within your team's environment, and the beauty is you can get data from multiple different data sources and display it here. And you can publish it to a particular team. You can publish it to the entire organization. So does this answer your question? No. So if I say no, let's see what happens. Say, sorry, we're unable to, do you want to rephrase? So I'll say rephrase. And then this time I'm just going to say holidays. It comes back with the same options. Let me say paid vacation. So for paid vacation, it's asking you to go to the HR site. But as I said before, you could also get information from other places. I mean, get the data from there and display it here that you have this many vacations and all that. So if you still are not satisfied, you can always talk to an agent. But let me rephrase it again. Call it vacation, and let's look at the other option. So I'm not interested in looking at others, so I'll just say reset, right? Reset or restart. Let me do restart. See what it does. And these are all built into the bot. You don't have to code for it. It already provides you with all that information. So it says I'll start over. I'm a virtual agent, and it's starting over again. So you can, I mean, it's so interactive, and you can make it really powerful once you understand what your business need is. And I have seen this being used in multiple different industries. I've seen it being used in energy and utility industries. Banking and financial services use it a lot. I've seen it being used in retail, in airlines, in entertainment, healthcare. So there's a lot of utilities for this part. I have a lot more to show you. This was supposed to be an introduction, and due to lack of time, I'm going to pass it on to my colleague, Bhargav. He has great things to show you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venu. All right, I am going to bring up my screen. So while that's coming up, let me just talk about Power Platform building up on top of what both Melinda and Venu showed. Here, what if you have, like I was mentioning earlier, your own data? What do you do with it? And how to put it to good use. So let me give you an example of something from the real world. I volunteer in Civil Air Patrol. There is a national headquarters that manages the membership of the members. And as a squadron that I am part of, we maintain our squadron activities. So you have the membership, you have to look at the events, you have to check in. There are multiple functions, but this is one of them where you have to check in the members as they come to the different events and maintain the record. Before we started using Power Platform for this function, the process was manual. So it really was a duplicated effort. There was a paper sheet with printed members' names, and as people come to the event, they would check in, they would sign in, and somebody would take that sheet and put it in Excel on their own time. So it was duplication of effort. And again, like I said, this is just a simple example of something that we are doing. There are many other things that it can do. So what I did with the Power Platform is there are three things that I worked on. The first thing was to download the membership information from the National Headquarters website. It is an authenticated download that was happening overnight. Somebody had to do it manually. So Power Automate just went on and took over that function to automate that. I created an app that removes the duplication of the effort. You just have an iPad or your Surface. As people are coming in, you just check in people, and then it goes into the database, so you don't have to duplicate the effort. And lastly, for the leadership to be able to see what the trends look like for the attendance, the event types, and so on, was done in Power BI. So let me switch over to the screen where I can show you all of that happening. So here I am in my Teams environment, and one of the tabs I have is Power Automate. This is where I have that first step of downloading the membership roster from the headquarters website. Since it's authenticated, I ended up using the HTTP connector. So when you look at the flow, it shows initiate the HTTP connection on a recurrence at a given time every night. It would go and connect to the website. It would provide the authorization, and then it would download the file, extract it to a SharePoint site. This SharePoint site is also connected to Teams, so it automatically stores all of those files in the file section here in the CapWatch data. So this is the extract. The files are extracted. They are CSV files. And those CSV files are automatically imported to the Dataverse using the data flows. So all of this happens in the background automatically. The information stored in the Dataverse ready for me to consume. At that point, I created an app that connects to those data sources, which is basically coming from that nightly CSV file. And even though this is a real app, the names are fictitious. So I'm not divulging any private information of any of the members. But this is exactly what the app is being used in production with real names. The names you see are fictitious. So here I have different cadets and seniors. There are different activities. I can go to the activity and select an activity. This one is a future event that is happening later tonight. So I can go ahead and, sorry about that. So when you have that app, it provides you a simple check-in, and here you can select who you want to check in, whether it's the cadets, it's the seniors, or both. So if you don't select any of them, you would check in both. I can just select the people who are present at the event, and then when I'm ready, I can just check it in. And this again goes to the same central database that is updated. There are multiple tables that are brought together. And this is that check-in process that I was talking about. And you can see how easy it is once digitized. And then the last piece of it is what to do with this data. So when I go into Teams, one of the tabs that I have is the attendance report that is built in Power BI. So you would see here a simple attendance by the event. I can filter the event that I want to see and how many people attended for each event. I can go to an attendance report if I need to export attendance report for a given event. So if I select any of the events, it will show me the attendance for that given day, and it will show who attended that event. And I can easily export it to Excel or something if I need to post-process any of that data. Lastly, I have the attendance rate, which allows the squadron leadership to see what is an average attendance? What is an average attendance for past 8 weeks or 52 weeks? Given the time period, it shows the attendance rate of that time period, as well as who is attending more often, who is not, which allows the leadership to focus on the folks' needs and make sure that their needs are met so that they get the most out of their membership. So this is how you can bring all the different things together. Like I said, giving you an example, simple data, the data could be very simple or it could be complex. But if I switch over to my Power BI, I can quickly show you this one last thing before we end, and that is what looked like the simple data with the CSV files has been turned into multiple tables with relationships that allows you to create the complex reports that really surface how your data is, what your data is representing. And in turn, it allows you to make the most value out of your business functions and the decisions that you have to make. It's not just simple CSV files in the end. So with that, I would open it up to questions and answers.
Thank you, Bhargav. That was amazing from all three of our presenters. I definitely myself learned lots of amazing things that are available within Teams and just extending out those capabilities for our users. Give me 1 second here so I can get my camera up. Nice little background there. All right. All right, so there we go. Melinda, Venu, Bhargav, again, thank you so much for the amazing presentation. I just want to give a reminder of the next webinars we will be presenting over the next few weeks. The next one coming up is going to be a Viva Overview on September 22nd, Teams Voice on October 13th, and building a strong foundation for your move to the cloud, specifically around Exchange, and that would be October 27th. And then we will have another registration form sent out for additional webinars once our scheduling is confirmed for those. So we will be doing these for the remainder of 2022 and then the first half of 2023 as well. And then for your future reference, we will be sending out an email with helpful resources that include the URLs we've shared in the chat today. Also right now, if you, like Bhargav mentioned, Q&A, so if you have anything that you still want to put in the chat, please feel free. We may not get to answer them right in this moment, but we can definitely get those answered for you. And with that, I'm going to just go ahead and say thank you all for joining us today. It was pretty great. I enjoyed it. I hope you all did too, and we all learned something. And I will see you guys at the next webinar. So thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.